This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Wednesday, the last hump day in February? I hope you guys made the most of February because it's almost gone. We're live here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. I am Joe Gaither. You are the listener checking us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon. You're viewing us on Bama Central and on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither6. We appreciate everybody who's tuning in and jumping in on their favorite platform. We're live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We appreciate everybody who gives Derek Daniel a call. He saved somebody a lot of money yesterday, so you can be next. 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek could save you today. We're in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to jump out to the voicemail line here pretty soon, right off the bat, actually. But before we do that, we're going to welcome in my friend Mason Woods. You can find Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine, as we're really going to react pretty much the whole day on Alabama beating the brakes off of Mississippi State. With that, good morning, Mason. How are we doing?
I'm doing really good this morning. A lot better than I felt after the Missouri game. I'm feeling very, very, very happy about where this basketball team is heading. That was an encouraging performance last night.
Okay, that's going to be kind of the crux of the debate. Did last night's performance move you closer to belief in this team, or was it much more the same, or was it more about Mississippi State? So we're going to talk about that. That's pretty much going to be where the conversation lives. We want to talk about Mark Sears and Chris Youngblood obviously having a historic night. We want to talk about live by the three, die by the three. I feel like, all right, we did Emily Smart a disservice yesterday just a little bit. At the end of the game, I'm sitting there watching and reflecting and thinking, we just blew right through that to get to Alexander Lincoln. And we want to say thank you very much to Alexander Lincoln joining us yesterday. New Era Wrestling coming to Tuscaloosa March 16th. You can find the Crimson Clash. We appreciate Alexander Lincoln joining us. But we just ran right through Emily's article just a little bit to get to him. And she talked about live by the three, die by the three, this, that, and the other. At the end of it, though, the end of the game, I think her point, we got caught up on the one line in that paragraph, but her point was that Mississippi State struggles to defend the three-point line, and Alabama has shot an okay percentage from the three-point line this year. At the end of the night, I mean, your point remained true. Mississippi State did not defend the three-point line, so okay, we blew right past that yesterday. Oh, man, yesterday just was a blur, and Monday, too, with Theo as well. So, Mason, will you reset me? Will you tell us how we're doing? It's halfway through the week, what we're doing today, and then let's kind of devise our plan. We're going to hear the voicemails in a second, but what else do you think we need to talk about today?
I'm really so caught up on this basketball team. I understand Mississippi State shot very poorly last night.
Keep going.
We'll get into that. There is some. This is not solely just Alabama played the best performance we've seen from any team in college basketball this year, but they did play extremely well in this game. They defended for the first time in weeks. They shot the ball extremely well. They were moving around good on offense. People were cutting to the basket. Guys were making plays. People were getting assists. Overall, I was very, very impressed with what they were able to do in this game. I think for the most part, I don't know exactly what Josh Hubbard finished with, but I don't think he had a whole lot.
Not a good night.
He ended up getting 21.
On 8 of 22 shooting, 3 of 12.
9 points, so.
Yeah, 3 of 12 from beyond the arc.
So, you held their scores in check for most of the game until, it kind of just got down to the end there where everybody was just throwing up shots trying to make anything happen. I was very, very happy with this game. Otherwise, Other than basketball, I was mostly focused on this yesterday. We had a little bit of recruiting news. Alabama lands in the top 10 for a 2026 edge rusher, but as we've said multiple times, let's be honest, that really doesn't mean a whole lot at this point. There's a whole calendar year left until those players make their decisions, basically. So probably gonna have a little bit more news on that. But Trent Henderson did name Alabama in his top 10 yesterday, so it's a little interesting.
Trent, we love you. Come on with it.
6'5", 220 pounds.
6'5", 220. How do you think he stands up with the alpha, Alexander Lincoln? We want to see those guys in the ring.
That's what we like. I can see that.
All right.
Maybe we'll see some good fights on March 16th.
This triggered me while you were talking. Kalen DeBoer talking to Pete Nakos. We'll get to that because he did discuss the spring game. We have been making the spring game a conversation part of the show. You can call the show 205-462-7340 extension 800. You can leave us a voicemail anytime. Right? Anytime you want to leave us a voicemail, you can. And when we are live, we're live at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday at the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. You can call the number and jump on the show if you want to. Let's go right out to the voicemail line. Get your reaction to last night's basketball game.
What is up, guys? It is
What is up?
Back again with the halftime thoughts of the Alabama-Mississippi State game. Due to superstitious reasons, I have absolutely nothing to say about the offense nor the defense. Roll Tide.
Okay, let's pause it right there. That's perfect. This
is a great way to utilize halftime call-in feature.
Yeah, that's right. That's Dax calling. And look, we'll protect your anonymity if you want it that way, but he identified himself. Dax calling right there in perfect place. Let's pause right here because what were you feeling at halftime last night, Mason?
I think him saying it really does sum it up pretty well. They were playing so exceptionally well that it was just like, no one move a muscle or something might change. It was like everyone stay seated exactly where they're at. Don't change the volume on your TV. Don't go get a drink. Don't go get a snack. You're locked in because this team is locked in right now and nothing needs to change. So, he didn't say anything, but he said a lot.
The first half, you're 11 for 22 from beyond the arc. 11 for 22. Oh, that's why it's in my ear so loud because I didn't turn it down from yesterday in my ear. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, right there. Just a little bit like there. Okay, so you're 11 for 22 from beyond the arc. But that was. I mean, that's what everybody's going to look at. But to me, what was so exciting about the first half? Flip on over to your Mississippi State page. Visitor stat, first half stat box, points per possession, 0.75, and I think that's higher. That must have been adjusted because at halftime I wrote down 0.69. Nice, really, really good. I mean, what they showed you last night is the reason I'm so angry all the time. It's the reason I am just so outside of my own brain because I know you can play defense. I know it's possible. I know physically you got, as a collective of 12, as a collective of 10, 11, 12, 13, depending on health now, you're down to 11, right? 10, 11. You guys are capable of playing defense.
Yeah.
You can.
It's not going to be you're not going to hold every team to 0.75 points per game, but you certainly shouldn't be allowing teams to get 1.2, 1.3, even higher.
It was the grittiness. You're cleaning up the glass. You out-rebounded Mississippi State last night on the whole by 2, I believe. But you just really – I don't know if it – right. I don't know if it, like, the other side of the coin is, the non-crimson colored glasses is, Mississippi State only had one good player in Josh Hubbard. But that's not really the case. They're in the SEC. They're in the top 25. They are a really good team. That's a quad 1 win. Yeah, okay. Josh Hubbard was a little bit quiet and obviously got himself into a little foul trouble at the start of the half. But I think that anytime you're playing an SEC team, like, look at the league. The league is ridiculous. It's a litmus test. It's a maturity test. It's a let's see where we are test. And the crazy person in me over the last 4 or 5 weeks has been saying, okay, you're leaving a lot on the table, Alabama. You're leaving a lot to be desired, especially on the defensive end. Last night at halftime, Dax is exactly right. Dax lets me. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, if you do that, unbeatable. You go 11 for 22, and you also defend your tail off. You're unbeatable, and that's the formula. You're 27-53 at halftime, and you're just. We've talked about the first half punch. That guy, that move went out the window in January. But they found it a little bit last night,
Yeah.
and it was on the defensive end to me.
And just again to really reiterate how good the SEC is. Mississippi State is a very good team. I understand. The SEC. You look at Auburn, you look at Tennessee, teams at the top, Alabama, Mississippi State top there. They're falling down. They're sitting 7 and 8 now. The whole league is very good, top to bottom. Florida last night goes out and loses to bottom dweller Georgia. So you just have every game that you play in this conference schedule is a test on how strong you are. And Alabama, passed it with flying colors. They taught the class themselves.
But that's what's so infuriating.
Yeah.
Granted, Joe has bad emotional control. So, all right, we have poor emotional control combined with unrealistic expectations, and I have been infuriated all year long thinking, Mark, Grant, Cliff, you're an old man. Chris, Youngblood, you're an old man. Latrell, before you got hurt. Come on, guys. Isn't this what you all came to Tuscaloosa for? To win to put a championship effort together? Now, you still can do that.
They came here to win a title. They didn't come here to beat. They didn't come here to beat Missouri in a midweek game or beat Mississippi State in a midweek game. They came here to compete in a 64-team tournament.
That's what
they're gonna get there.
I'm the irrational one who's. Would you let this one game slip? Could have been Players Era Festival champions.
Sure. Would have been cool. But look at where Oregon is now.
I don't even know. I
think they're struggling.
Not good.
I don't know. They're a tournament team, but I don't think that they've fallen off a little bit since then.
So, on one hand, last night was so encouraged. Oh yeah, you got the mojo back. But on the other hand, if we're sitting here on the therapist couch, Mason. On the other hand, my brain is going, why haven't you been doing this all year? What in the world?
Would we rather than have done this all year, only to
yes,
hit a flat line right around this point of the year where
no.
It's all right? We have plateaued now, or are we? It is frustrating because we see it now that they could have been doing this the entire time. But the name of the game to winning a national title in college basketball is getting hot at the right moment. You find a hot streak at the end of the year and you ride that thing to the end. It is not typically the team that is just the best all year. Sometimes that happens, sure. But more often than not, it's someone else who gets a hot streak right at the end of the season to go and win a 6-7 game, however many it is.
Well, Coach, whatever buttons you were pressing last week, just write that formula down in your notepad. Yeah.
Let's that bad boy out. Whatever.
The defensive effort is the difference. Last night everybody's going to talk about the shooting, and the shooting was absurd. It was amazing. But the defensive effort was the difference. And, okay, second half fell off a little bit. You ended up giving them 46 points. You beat them in the second half by 12, 46-58. You ended up, what's their PPP? Yeah, so not really, kind of a lax. But at that point, we're up by 30. We're up by 30, and the game never really got back into 30 has cut to 12, 30 has cut to 8.
Mississippi State also, when you're down by 30, you're altering the way you play a little bit. They're probably, they're putting up some shots that probably aren't necessarily good shots. They made some of them, but they're forcing the issue a little bit, trying to really make things happen as opposed to kind of running their normal sets.
Let's keep it going. I think we have 2 more voicemails. Reminder, you can call the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800 to be a part of the program.
Looks like my halftime thoughts were the correct call. Roll bleeping Tide. My jaw is on the floor. The whole team was on demon mode. like on both sides of the ball. It was a complete game. I'm so proud of these boys, and they just got me more excited for March. But holy crap, these next 3 games are going to be some. Let's hope we can keep this momentum going. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's Dax with the back-to-back call, and that's exactly how we want it done. Give us a call before the game. What do you think about the game? Halftime. Oh, my gosh, this is what's happening. Post-game. Oh, that's my reaction. Well done, Dax. 10 out of 10 for you. Mason, you want to take his reaction?
I mean,
Demon mode on both sides of the ball.
That is accurate. That's an accurate description of how this team played. They were incredibly. The intensity was at a season high on both ends of the floor on offense and defense. They had everyone, all 5, top to bottom, and even Mark Sears was playing good defense on some stretches. The next 3 games, 3 top 5 matches.
Ooh.
Well, we'll see if Florida remains in the top 5 after losing to Georgia. They might drop out, but regardless, it's probably going to be 3 top 10 matchups at the very least.
How about you want to play a 1 seed, a 1 seed, and a 1 seed in a row?
Yeah.
Like, how prepared are you going to be for March? You going back to where you got a man Hunter who likes to call, and his last handful of calls for him has been how nobody's going to be more prepared. Nobody's going. And dude, you're right.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. Even too, like you get kind of three kind of different styles here between Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn. You get Tennessee, the very slow, methodical, grind you down into the floor kind of play. Florida is a little bit more high flying. They get out and run a little bit, and then Auburn, it's just like the empire. The best of the best. You got to find any way you possibly can to take them down. So this will be a very good 3-game stretch to get Alabama prepared for March. If you win 2 of these games, I think you feel fantastic.
What can we do to regulate Rick Barnes to high school coaching? His style belongs in the AHSAA.
He needs to be teaching like 4th graders fundamentals. That's what he is. Running like a bounce pass academy.
I want Rick Barnes and Barry Sanderson playing against each other. Right there. No shot clock.
Those games would have been 15 to 12.
I love Barry. Barry would walk over the bench and kill him. He'd be like, "Shoot the ball!"
I remember in high school, we played. I think it was. I don't remember what team it was, but they held the ball for an entire quarter.
No, why?
The whole. 12 minutes they held the ball.
We're gonna win 4-2.
Yeah, and it was the worst thing ever. Everybody was just sitting there like, "What are we doing, man?" Yeah, put a shot clock in high school sports. In high school basketball.
Like at that point, you're sending somebody. Coach Joe at Gaither U is sending somebody off the bench. Elbow. Hey. Look. I'll buy you ice cream. I'll deal with the principal. I'll deal with the administrator. Elbow to number 12.
Don't take that bad boy.
Golly. Send them a message that we're playing a game here.
Yeah, no, I hate that so much.
I cannot
just cowardly way to coach. I feel like.
But to that end, Tennessee, I hate watching them play.
Because it's just that. But there is a shot clock, so they can't hold it as long as they want to. But damn it, if they could, they would hold that ball for 20 minutes in the first half and 20 minutes in the second half. It's just, and I don't like watching the NBA much either for almost the same reason, but in the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's so much on the other side of just everyone is sprinting at max capacity, and we're jacking up as many 50-foot threes as we can. You got to find that happy medium. But yeah, Tennessee's unbearable. It is like paint. It's just awful.
One more from the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can be next to be on the Joe Gaither Show.
Good morning, Joe. It's Robert from Brookwood. Great game last night by the basketball team. I thought benching, I forgot it, Nelson, was a great move because he's a bit clumsy with the ball sometimes. In fact, you can quote me, he's clumsy. And I think that's going to help the team the rest of the year, just let him come off the bench. Have a great day.
Can we get that on a quote card that we can tweet out?
I love it. In fact, he says, I think he might be clumsy. Actually, he's clumsy. Well done. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go with Grant?
Another tough night for Grant.
All right, before you go too far off the cliff, dealing with a little bit of shin bruise, dealing with a little bit of shin action, kind of contusion last 2 days. Not as 100%. All right, but continue.
I'll cut him, a bit of slack.
A little, not a lot.
No, I'm not going to cut you any slack on the turn the ball over.
Yes.
It hurts, that you're still just kind of reckless with the ball at times. You had the most turnovers on the team. You had 3. You tied Mark. And it's not a place you want to be. It's not Mark Sears for turnovers.
Because Mark's got the ball in his hands the entire night. You got it however much time. Keep going.
Possession, maybe. So, you got your 7 rebounds, which was great, but only one of those were on the offensive end. And so, again, you're not really affecting the game a whole lot. I don't know if it's just the team kind of around him. They've been shooting so well lately, and the offense has been flowing has just kind of found a way to succeed without his input a little bit. But it just feels like he's not a piece of the puzzle out there. It feels like it's 4 guys who work really well together, and then here's an extra cog that we can't figure out how to fit. And he's just kind of bouncing around. And I don't know why that's developed the last 4 or 5 games, other than maybe just the offense has really hit a stride and realized, I don't need Grant as much. We can kind of work without him.
Really appreciate Robert from Brookwood utilizing the voicemail line 205-462-7340 extension 800. I think he makes a good point on Grant, but in the second half, I think Grant kind of got going just a little bit. Just in the sense, obviously the box score numbers are not great, 6 points, but where is this dunk here in the second half? A good dunk at 18:03. No, that's not what I wanted. Maybe it was rebound, offensive rebound, good layup. Maybe it was at 18:03. 18:03 in the second half. Marcus is driving down the lane and kind of gets caught on the baseline, and it's Grant cutting through where Mark finds him, and it's a two-hander where he just
Kind of had the same action with Cliff a little later.
Yeah, right, exactly, and I take us back 2 weeks ago. Grant Nelson, I'm jumping from inside the 3-point line to try to like a career highlight. The highlight that would have produced Grant jumping from inside of the 3-point line to dunk on Auburn, like that would have never died.
That would have been every piece of promotional material
yes.
For the rest of eternity.
Regardless of whatever happened with that we're using this clip. He thought, hey, I got that one over Donovan Clingan in the Final Four. I'm trying to add to the resume here. Since then,
is that where he bruised his shit?
Maybe. My man's ego is a little bit. And I'm sorry, Grant. I'm speaking for you. That's not appropriate. But
it seems that way a little bit. It seems like since that, he feels a little out of sorts. And, maybe it is this shin injury. Maybe there's a little more to that. I think it's easy to, when an athlete says, or when a coach or whoever says, he's dealing with a little bit of an issue, it's easy to kind of, as fans, just assume,
I don't want to.
He's perfectly fine. But, more often than not, they're hurting a lot and they're still playing. So, there's a decent chance he could be in a fair amount of pain out there.
But I still need more from you, Grant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you're in pain,
I'll take Terrell at 100% before I take you at 55%.
Go sit on, it's fine.
I mean, we got 13 minutes from Sherrell, 7 points. He was solid. Didn't really get after the boards much, but didn't turn the ball over.
I just, at this point of the year, and I know that it's a really hard thing for a coach to be balancing because you're currently balancing it with Darian Reed. Do you play him? Do you play him and risk more injury? Do we rest him? This, that, and the other. I mean, Darian didn't play last night, and look, I'm in the camp of you don't play Darian until we're in Nashville. At least. I mean, I know these 3 games are going to be. You want to win them. 3 games, 2 of them against bitter rivals, all 3 against top 10 teams. Like, it's going to be, you're in the national spotlight.
But just, I think you got to look at the big picture.
Yes. My deal with Grant.
To win a bunch of games in the regular season, but the end game is title.
My deal with Grant last night when I knew that something's not quite there, right? He passed up not 1 but 2 wide open 3-pointers to pump fake and drive, and both the drives ended up in like pitter patter. Like one of them was he got knocked out. He got knocked out of bounds on the baseline, and he looked at the officials like, "Where's the foul?" And they didn't call it a turnover. And then the other one was he just went into the lane and just into traffic.
So maybe that injury is kind of taking away some of his explosiveness a bit, his ability to get after it and kind of work through some of that contact. I still don't.
I just don't want him passing up those shots.
Yeah.
Hey man, you're there. That's what the
Just
offense
take
is there for.
Yeah, just take the shot. Whether Cliff's down there, he can rebound. Maybe we got Darren down there or something. They can rebound. I don't want to see anyone on the team passing up any open shot because if you're passing up an open shot, you're just extending the time. You're holding the ball, thus clogging up the rest of the game and making everything move slower. So, yeah, get the shots off if you can.
Mason, let's take a quick timeout to talk about Derek Daniel and State Farm. Well, I get to my sheet right there. Boom. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. You can call Derek Daniel and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Red, Reese, and Victoria, they're upstairs. They'll be happy to take care of you right now. You can give them a call, 205-758-3391. Call for your home insurance, your life insurance needs, your auto insurance needs. I mean, that's the easiest one. You want to change a vehicle, call to run a quick auto insurance quote on the vehicle you're buying. Really, really easy. Red, Reese, and Victoria will be happy to take care of you. 205-758-3391. You can visit us right off of McFarland Boulevard. Local agent. We're right here in the heart of town. So easy to find, just past the Rustic Rehab on the left. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Once again, that number, 205-758-3391. All right, we're going to hit the voicemail line. We're going to play all the way through one more time, just to kind of thank you, and then we're going to keep going on this basketball team. Oh, I might want to rewind it to the very beginning.
What is up, guys? It is Dax back again with the halftime thoughts of the Alabama-Mississippi State game. Due to superstitious reasons, I have absolutely nothing to say about the offense nor the defense. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Looks like my halftime thoughts were the correct call. Roll bleeping Tide. My jaw is on the floor. The whole team was on demon mode tonight, like on both sides of the ball. It was a complete game. I'm so proud of these boys, and they just got me more excited for March. But holy crap, these next 3 games are going to be some. Let's hope we can keep this momentum going. Roll Tide.
Good morning, Joe. It's Robert from Brookwood. Great game last night by the basketball team. I thought benching I forgot it, Nelson was a great move because he's a bit clumsy with the ball sometimes. In fact, you can quote me, he's clumsy. And I think that's going to help the team the rest of the year. Just let him come off the bench. Have a great day.
I love it. You can be a part of the voicemail crew like Dax and like Robert from Brookwood. We've heard a lot of people, Roy from Gunnersville. Who else have identified themselves? We've had a lot of calls. Simon's actually told his name. Yep. Hunter has told his name once as well. So feel free to jump in on the voicemail line, 205.
But we do love to hear your name.
Sure. If you want to say your name is Billy and your name is really Charlie, I don't care. Well, whatever you want to, however you want to play that game, you can be a part of the show at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Oh my gosh. I want voicemails on the basketball team, obviously. I want voicemails on the baseball team, 20-something to 11, 22 to 11 yesterday against Jack. They hit like 15 home runs in the second inning. Will Miller sat in the ballpark and he doesn't care. He loves it. He wants more home runs. He wants the games to continue to go and go and go. But goodness gracious, the baseball team wrecked shop yesterday. We want your voicemails on the baseball team. And I want your voicemails on this article with Pete Nakos talking about Kalen DeBoer. Let's keep pushing that off for a second because we just dealt with the voicemails and we reacted to those. I really appreciate that so much. I want to ask you about Mark and Chris to quantify what you just kind of quantify. I mean, and the team doesn't have Latrell. I mean, goodness gracious, that's what's so just ridiculous about the team. Look at Aiden. Aiden at 13 points. Oh, you had a bad shooting night. At 3 for 7 from behind the arc. Like, what is it? What's 3 for 7? That's like 35, 38%, something like that. Okay, you're taking that all day on your bad shooting night. Mark 5 of 12, Cliff 7 of 11. Chris 7 of 11.
Jared getting in there too.
3 for 3, right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, huge shooting night from just about everybody on this team. But specifically to talk about Mark and Chris, I mean, what more can you ask from these guys? You get 48 from them.
I got something I can ask for Chris, but keep going.
Okay. You get 48 from them. I know that the defense is always leaves a little to be desired with those two, but I think that's just kind of the way they play. Now, Chris, his defensive inefficiencies, I maybe wasn't as privy to, but it seemed like last night at times maybe they showed up a bit. I don't know. I really was happy with both of them, especially Mark getting 10 assists. That was huge. They were able to distribute the ball extremely well, taking on that role where he's not forced to do it all himself. When he can trust the guys around him to make shots, he'll get his assists. It's just the guys around him got to step up.
Yeah, it's Mark with the 10 assists and it's LeBaron with the 5. So both of our primary ball handlers are, I'm finding the right guy. I'm finding an efficient. Right. So every ball, all the ball handlers, I mean, Chris, love you, buddy, but that's not your job. You're a shooter. My thought with 7 for 11 is so much fun. And goodness gracious, you are such a fun player. No, this is my boomer. But can I get you to the rim once? Can I get you to the rim one time? One time, Charlie?
Let the man do what he does great. Let the man be great.
Hey, what do you think happens to that closeout if he pump fakes one time and gets to the rim and goes, layup, finger roll? You're right. Confident.
Now, I understand he's a tiny guy going up there. It's like the same as Mark going up there.
You're a player. You can get in there.
But it's also not Jared going up there or Grant going up there,
That's my only, if you say, give me one note, one thing you want more, it'd be like, I guess I'm nitpicking, but I want him to get to the rim.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn down if Chris Youngblood wants to throw a dunk down on somebody's face. Go right ahead. Be my guest.
What does that do to spacing?
Sure. But also, I mean, if you want to go 7-11, sit your ass out there behind the arc. Keep shooting threes.
Beyond the arc? That is
from the parking lot.
The whole team was shooting from Gordo.
Oh man, it's awesome.
I'm over in Greensboro, you're over in Gordo, I'm up in Northside. It was just. Have you looked at the shot chart since?
No.
Go while I ramble. Go to ESPN, hit the GameCast button, and scroll down and look at the shot chart. You'll see one of these 3-pointers that's right next to the Alabama A. It's one of the marks, and it's like, oh, that dot's a mark 3-point.
And Nate's just over there. Keep going. Keep shooting. More.
Driving. He gets a timeout. Oh, I got a buddy. Look, Troy, you called. Your voicemail didn't work. Sorry. I got 1 second of no audio. I apologize. But he texts me in the middle of the game while Mississippi's kind of digging in. He goes, getting lazy. And not 2 seconds later, Nate Oates calls a timeout. And I said, you called it. He called timeout. He got you.
You have two. You have a Holloway and a Sears. You have a Sears making a Holloway miss. It's right in front of you. Oh, man.
But he's not going to get enough love for last night.
Jared?
No, see, they're not going to give enough love to my. We love Mark Sears and his double-double. Yes, if you get a double-double, you need to be on the love train. A double-double in 17 minutes, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Yeah, my man's like, I'll just. At one point, he had played 5 minutes and he had 5 rebounds. Five rebounds. What was it? 5 rebounds. It was 5 points. In 5 minutes. That's what it was. 5, 5, and 5. That's what I wrote down. I was like, this is
Spark plug.
It's insane. I mean, you should be talking about Chris and you should be talking about Mark from last night. But if you want to be a real ball knower, we're talking about Mo D, 4 of 6. You going to tell me Mo Diabate becomes a 30% 3-point shooter? Becomes even that. I mean, last night is 50%. But you're going to give me at least 30% from You talk about Chris Youngblood getting to the rim and what happens to the spacing. What happens to the spacing when Mo D is actually hitting that 3-point shot and you're like, do I close out on him and let him blow by me? Or
that opens a lot of things up for this team. Both of those players doing those things, getting out of their comfort zones, I guess. Yeah,
just working on the inefficient part.
Yeah. Mo D was great last night. He was 4 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3. He hits his 1 free throw at the line. I have no complaints with what Mo D. He didn't turn the ball, no, you got 2 turnovers, but hey, it's okay.
2 turnovers. The team as a whole 11.
Yeah.
So 12 or fewer. Bing, 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 bing. Well done.
I didn't realize. 17 minutes out. He was limited or anything. But that's not a ton. I didn't realize he had only played that much. He was as effective as he was. I felt like he was on the floor longer.
There's something to that. We talk about the 3-point shooting. Yeah. Terrell for sure playing. But the 3-point shooting percentage was insane last night. I believe it all ties into what you're getting at with Mo D and his minutes. Coach was asked about road versus home 3-point shooting, and remember we have talked about this year. Yeah. Not really playing as good at home as you are on the road. We hypothesized that thank you. We hypothesized that maybe maybe getting a little frou-frou at home, maybe a little mom and dad time, a little girlfriend time, this, that, and the other, maybe too many tickets to worry about. Well, Coach Oates, his narrative said, no, Joe, you're a dummy. Not really, but he said, no. What I think is, or his hypothesis was the fellas are getting too many shots, are getting too many minutes, are in the gym too much. And allegedly, they didn't lock the gym, but essentially said, hey, these are the times this week, guys. This is what I want from you. 5,000 shots is great, but maybe 1,000 shots is better.
And, normally I would say that just sounds like nothing more than coach PR talk, but they backed it up with a performance. So maybe there's some credence to that.
Absolutely. And so to your point, you were talking about Mo D playing 17 minutes. Maybe it's we know that his when he's in the game, the pedal is on the floor. The pedal is literally on the floor.
As soon as he steps on the floor, 100 miles.
That brick is on the pedal. So we got to make sure that we're going to take you out a little bit, make sure we save some of that gas for some of these 3 games.
Yeah. No, I could see that certainly. I do want to talk about Sherrod.
Please go. Please.
I have sung his praises for a while because I think he is just so close to getting there, and he got his extended period of play like I was hoping for last night. I think I had mentioned he needs kind of just a stretch where he gets to play 4, 5, 6 minutes. It's solid, and I think he got that last night. He got 5 minutes in the second half when they were up by 30. He didn't do a whole lot. He got 7 points, so he got his threes off. That's for sure. He shot 4 of them. He did make 1. But I think
he played the last 5 minutes of the game, 5.5 minutes of the game.
I think he continues to just look more and more comfortable out there now. It wasn't garbage time, so take that as you will. But I think having him look more and more comfortable is going to help this team a lot in the tournament. If you can just have another option that you can throw out there.
Blake, you're the man. Thank you so much for giving us a call and trying us out on the hotline. Thank you for your call. Absolutely. That's Blake joining us on the Joe Gaither Show hotline. We're getting a sponsor for that hotline. You can sponsor that hotline. It's going to be more than you can afford, but you can sponsor that hotline at 2. Oh, I think that was the Zoom hanging up. And what was that noise? The perfect. Man, 2 seconds. I'm sorry. 2 weeks ago, we had a live. We set this phone line up a month ago. We've had a bunch of voicemails, and if you've been on the voicemail line, I love you very much. 205-462-7340, extension 800. Makes me very, very happy. 2 weeks ago, we took a live call. James called in, old colleague, great friend, and the sound wasn't really that clean. It was okay. It wasn't that clean. At least from my end, that was 1,000 times cleaner. Thank you, James, for calling 2 weeks ago, but thank you definitely, Blake, for calling again now, letting us keep testing our system, stress testing if our equipment worked correctly or not. That's yeah, that made me feel real good. Thank you, Blake. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go right there. What do you expect these last 3 games, Mason?
I like the 2-1, and
Losing to Tennessee, that's my thought.
I was thinking also weirdly, the Jungle. Strangely, I think they can go there and win.
Better run through the jungle.
I feel
Don't look back again.
I imagine they'll get up for that game. I think they will be ready to play. I think they learned a lot from that first Auburn matchup. I think Nate Oates will have them ready to play for that game because he knows not only like season wise what will be on the line, but like the team's mentality. Getting swept by a rival sucks. Nobody on the team wants to deal with that. So I think they're going to do a lot to really try to win that Auburn game. But they might overlook Tennessee in the process. I don't know.
It's those road games that make I think you're beating Florida. I'm pretty comfortable with that.
I feel good that you're beating Florida, and I just feel like I don't see Nate Oates losing to Auburn twice in the same season. Maybe he does, but I would think that that he's going to do everything in his power to ensure that does not happen. Whereas you may not have exactly the same attitude for Tennessee. You maybe just have the attitude of like, yeah, we want to go win this game, but it's not going to be like I'm fighting tooth and nail, scraping the ground to try to get this win because you don't have quite as much on the line there. Obviously it's a regular season loss, but there's so much more that comes with that Auburn loss from the team mentality standpoint. I don't know.
All right, I'm only giving you one victory, right? You get to choose. Is it at Auburn for a share of the regular season title, or is it against Auburn in the SEC tournament in Nashville for whether that be semifinal win or championship? But you only get one of the wins against Auburn.
Yeah.
You got to take a loss in the other one. Which one are you?
I'd probably take the win in the regular season.
Okay, I was going to go say Nashville. So why?
You lose in Nashville, you're still going to the tournament. Now you're a scoring team going to the tournament. You're angry that you just lost to Auburn. So I think it gives you an extra motivating factor. Whereas otherwise, if you go out and win the SEC championship or SEC tournament, I don't think the guys are going to necessarily get complacent, but they maybe don't have as much to motivate them.
Yeah, I was going to say Nashville because I don't want to share a title with them. I don't want to share an SEC regular season championship. Now winning in Neville Arena. Oh no, Blake just messaged me. I went back and tried to listen to the conversation. You can't hear it on the stream. Oh man. Yeah, I wonder if I have a setting incorrect. Darn, it sounded so clean too. It sounded so clean on our side too. I bet you I know exactly what I did as I'm looking at this. Oh my gosh, Joe, you big old fail. All right, well,
call back tomorrow.
That breaks my heart. Oh. All right. We'll reset and finish up. We need to tell you about our friends. We're live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. Call Derek and his team, 205-758-3391. We'll keep playing with that, with our phone line. Use the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. We're not going to talk about Kalen DeBoer today because there's going to be plenty of tough stuff to get into tomorrow. We'll talk about Kalen DeBoer, Pete Nakos, the A-Day alteration. It sounds like that's definitely
they took our idea.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
They saw it. We will get no credit for it. We will receive nothing from the university that says thank you. No, they stole our idea.
His quote when we'll get into this tomorrow as we get out of here. His quote: a lot of times here, the 8A game, it's been more of a practice. There have been some scrimmaging, not necessarily much of a game. Even when I was at Fresno State, we called it the spring preview. Especially this year, there's some things we're working through with some injuries and so forth. So it'll definitely be modified. Here's your key. So it'll definitely be modified. We want to try to have some type of event around April 12th.
Dodgeball!
Yeah. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Leave us a voicemail what you think about that event. 205-462-7340, extension 800. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast platform. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. We'll get out of here for the day, and we'll be back tomorrow on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.